So this past Sunday, the Falcons traded their wide receiver Julio Jones to the Tennessee Titans. The deal was wide receiver Julio Jones and a 2023 sixth-round draft pick to the Tennessee Titans for a 2022 second-round draft pick and a 2023 fourth-round draft pick. So who's the winner and loser of this trade? Sam, I'll start with you.
Thanks for the question, man. I think this trade was ridiculous to hear because the Titans got a great deal out of this. I mean, a second-round pick and a fourth-round pick. That Atlanta front office, they're on something else, man, because I'm not sure how they got that through. I'm not sure how their president saw that trade and thought that's a great idea because, Titans got Jones for basically nothing. And I think that was a great deal for them. And I think, Atlanta really took the bad end of this deal.
Yeah, I definitely understand your points, Sam. But one winner I have is Calvin Ridley. And the reason is he can put up big numbers. And with Julio Jones on the team for 9 games, Calvin Ridley put up almost 1,400 yards. And I think without him, Calvin Ridley will easily become the number 1 wide receiver. And being that, I think he could easily make the Pro Bowl and be an all-pro wide receiver for these Atlanta Falcons. But even though they got a new great number 1 wide receiver, the Falcons also lost this trade because, according to reports, they were offered a first-round pick. And they could have easily taken that trade just like that. But the reason they didn't is because they just put him up for trade too late. And had they traded him earlier, they probably would have gotten that first-round pick. But because they traded him later, they had to settle for a lower pick value. And because of waiting too long, now they missed out on a first-round pick, a lot better compensation for a player as great as Julio.
Yeah, I agree with both of your points. And on paper, the Titans obviously won. They only gave up a second and a fourth, and they got Julio Jones and even a 6th-round draft pick in return. So for the Titans, they obviously won this trade. They basically, like you said, they gave up nothing to get Julio Jones, one of the best wide receivers. So for Atlanta, what this means is their only winners is their receivers. Kyle Pitts, the tight end, the rookie tight end, and Calvin Ridley, like you said, they're gonna get a lot of receptions from Matt Ryan, and with this, I think they will be able to compete not only now but kind of in the near future. So for Atlanta, I think that's their only win, and this Atlanta team was really bad. Just at the very end of games, this team could have been a really good team or even a playoff team, but the Atlanta Falcons just had very bad miscues at the very end of games, like that Cowboys game, and I think it was that Lions game. They just had very bad finishes to the game. And I think this team can win more games than last season. It just depends on if Calvin Ridley can be that number 1 option.
Yeah. I mean, for sure, Ridley being open is great for his career, for his development. But at the same time, you got to think, Matt Ryan's reaching almost, 40 years old now? Was he 36, 37? And I know Brady's setting this, standard of old QBs throwing it down, but I don't think Matt Ryan is that kind of guy. I don't think he has that same work ethic and same lifestyle that Brady does. So I'm not sure, them losing a player is still a win for them because that's still less great targets, for that offense. So I think we're just going to have to wait and see. But, I mean, even then, I just have a hard time comprehending what went through that front office because, to me, draft picks, if it's a first-round pick, it makes a lot of sense. You can kind of predict who's in the first round. You can make plans, you can strategize for it. But a second-round pick and a fourth-round pick, that is a very volatile area. Usually, you might get a dime in the dozens or you might get stuck with whatever else is out there, right? You have no idea what's going to be there. That's more work for that front office to strategize and figure out who they're going to draft. Drafting is an insane thing. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of, deals and talking with other teams and college players and a lot of recruiting. And, it's very, very, it's a lot of work. And I'm not really sure what went through their heads again. But yeah, I think like Jeremy said, on paper, Titans really got the dub on this trade.
Yeah, I just feel bad for Falcons fans because they've been choking ever since the Super Bowl's lost. So
for sure.
yeah.
So with the Titans offense, they now have Julio Jones, AJ Brown, and Derrick Henry. So what are the Titans' expectations for this season with Julio Jones?
I believe Julio Jones, he's a great fit to any offense. He's a veteran receiver, great hands, great work ethic, great route running. I think he really can get the job done there. I think what we've kind of seen in the past is Derrick Henry kind of be the powerhouse for that offense.
Yeah.
Kind of just, running the show there. And I think that offense would really need to diversify. That offensive coordinator, it's a new one, right? The Titans got. He would have to, he has to make a lot of changes, adapt to a lot of different things to, kind of just meet what the fans require of them, to put some points on the board. So, I mean, Joe, I don't think we need to be worried about how he's going to fit in. He's a great receiver. I think he can fit in really well.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Julio Jones is a huge add for them, but even with him, they already had a pretty good offense, and by making it a little bit better, I don't think it's going to take them that far. So for me, the Titans' expectations for a successful season would probably be a divisional round playoff berth or getting into the second round of the playoffs. And that's because this offense is Super Bowl worthy, but the defense, not so much. I don't think it's good enough to go any farther. They have some good pieces, but no all-pro pieces like that. They have the people like Kevin Byard or Jeffrey Simmons, but they're not top-tier elite players that are going to be huge playmakers for this defense. And like you said, there's a new offensive coordinator. There's a new receiver in Julio Jones. They lost two of their top tight ends. They have a lot of moving parts in this offense with their former offensive coordinator, now the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. So there's just a lot of moving parts, some new calibrating that they have to do. They just have to figure out how to make that offense gel in one season. So I think they're good enough to win a game in the playoffs, but I just don't think they're as good as the top teams in the AFC. I don't even think they're a top 5 team.
Yeah, I think what their GM said, the Tennessee Titans GM said, he said this move was necessary, and I think I completely agree with him. The Titans, they've been close in the playoffs, and they've been right there, but they've been so reliant on Derrick Henry. So adds another aspect to the Tennessee Titans offense, and it gives Ryan Tannehill more options with AJ Brown and Julio Jones to throw to as a targets. Mm-hmm. And with Ryan Tannehill, even though he isn't the best quarterback in the league, he can still get the job done. I think it was a couple years ago, he had the best pass accuracy. So this team if they want to go far, they really need to be reliant on this offense. And if their offense can step up with Julio Jones and Derrick Henry, just trucking people everywhere, this team can go. I think they can go far.
Yeah, and I agree. I think Tannehill's, a very average quarterback. I think, he's nearing 32 years old now. I think he had an average career with Miami. And I think he doesn't really fall into where all the QB standards we see now in the league, with Mahomes and Breeze and Rodgers. It's a different game now because, these guys are breaking records and, doing things that, we've never seen before. Mahomes has really changed the game. He's setting expectations higher than ever, right? So I'm not really sure how Tannehill fits into this era. I'm not saying I'm not sure if he is the man to get the job done, but I will definitely agree with you guys when I say this offense really needs to diversify. I think every defense they're going to face is going to expect Derrick Henry, to
run that ball.
Yeah, but I'm not sure what they're going to do to stop it, but at the same time, if they have a strategy for it, I'm pretty sure they can get it done, So, but I will say, I think Julio Jones is in better hands with Tannehill, a younger QB, than he is in the hands of Matt Ryan. He's got a great target. He's got a good, decent O-line. I think it's just really up to him to get it done. But also in retrospect, we have to realize where Julio Jones is coming in from. He wants to win. He doesn't care about money. He just wanted to leave that team because he knew he couldn't win there. He doesn't care about money. He doesn't care about where he is on the team, status-wise or fame-wise. He just wants to win. And that embarrassment that Patriots gave them in 2017, that one had to sting. I think, especially a player that's been in that arena, that's been in the Super Bowl, I think they really, they lose that aspect, I think they really want to go back and win it all. We see Peyton Manning, losing to the Seahawks, and it hurt. It hurt really bad for him, and he came back and he won it, right? And I think that he has that same kind of mentality. It doesn't matter where he goes. I think he just really wants to win.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I think Tannehill is going to be a key part of this offense. I think he's going to be an X factor, and we just have to see where they go.